Ma'am, I would say we should never make a mistake of altering our hobby just from the interview because that is what I did in my first attempt and I face the consequences for that.
Okay.
Because panel is very interested in your hobby. They want they want to judge you from the kind of activities you get involved in your leisure time.
Okay. Okay.
So once we mention a hobby, they tend to ask us like what we do in that, what recently we have done in that. So if
Mm-hmm.
we have not done that thing, or if that hobby is we have just mentioned it just for the sake we want to mention for the interview, then they are
Mm.
gonna catch it.
Success is never ending. It is rightly said. And today we have a very inspiring story of Navneet Bittal, who has not only made to the civil services exam once, in fact twice. Hello everybody, a very warm welcome to all of you. Hi guys, I'm Mani Mehra, one of the top and verified educators on Unacademy. I welcome you all to the Chamomile Tea with Toppers and initiated by Unacademy. Today we're going to have on our platform Navneet Mittal, who has secured All India Rank 69 this year in the UPSC examination. We are going to be learning from Navneet how it has been for him to secure the rank earlier, and while already being in service, how it has been an experience for him to come to the attempt of the exam again and then clear it with the flying colors. So let's connect with Navneet Mittal. Hello Navneet, a very warm welcome to Unacademy's Chamomile Tea with Toppers.
Hello, ma'am, and hello, everyone. Thank you very much for inviting me. It's my pleasure to be here.
Navneet, how are you? How has been this entire these 3 4 days of your exam result? And everyone must have called you, congratulated you. But first of all, I would also like to congratulate you from the entire team of Unacademy.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It has been unbelievable, unbelievable. Like I am not able to think till now that I have secured this much rank because we never think even in of our wildest dream that we'll be getting this much rank.
No, no, no. I think you must have been sure this time because the kind of hard work that you've done, and last year you secured already All India rank 319, and then this year 69 rank is such an improvement in the rank. And at the same time, I can just think of what all you must have done or read or done differently. I'm like so excited to know that, and I'm sure aspirants also are. So Navdeep, let's start from the beginning. I'm sure you must have been a topper throughout your school life, or let's say in your class 10th or 12th. You must have secured very good marks that time, or not?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I was good in studies in the school, but I was a little bit naughty also. Overall academics, yes, I have been good.
And definitely that also helps a mindset kind of, that's what you're going to do in the future. But I was reading about you. You've done your BTech from IIT Jodhpur,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
it has been done in computer science, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, ma'am.
So how has your experience been to an IITian, being an IITian? Because mostly, in India, parents are like engineer ban jao, doctor
Yes,
ban
ma'am.
jao, or ये secure job hai या एक career opportunity, and everybody dreams of it. And and being from an IIT Jodhpur and doing computer science, and suddenly the shift into civil services. So let's have some insights from your IIT experience, how it has been.
Ma'am, I would say that it is one of the most deciding factor because of which I have achieved this. Uh, Ma'am, crowd in the IIT is extraordinary, and we learn from them a lot. Uh, our batchmates, seniors, and juniors pushes us in in the IIT to give our best. There is too much competition, a healthy competition that it it makes us do best in our thing. And other thing is that it gives us a confidence. That background gives us a confidence, and the kind of faculty we get there, and the kind of exposure it gives. it helped me a lot. So I would say that it was one of the major reasons uh, which made me what I am today, and I owe my success to my alma mater.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. And second thing I would like to say, I think you've always had these leadership qualities. You remind me of your college fest that you had, and you managed the entire college fest around, team of so many people. So how have your experiences been to these extracurricular activities? What we expect out of a civil servant or the ones who clear the exam is that mostly they are very serious. They've always been studying. They don't do any extracurricular activities. But your profile is very distinct from them. So what do you have to say about all these extracurricular activities that you have been there in?
Ma'am, in my college days, I don't used to be part of the extracurricular activities. I had a stage fright, and I never used to take part in the debates or poem recitation competition. Nothing. I was just used to spend time with my friends. So in the college, I decided that I'll be doing that because I had to overcome my fear. So from the first year itself, I got myself engaged in various extracurricular activities, and each extracurricular activity taught me so many things. I was a part of drama club in my college. I was even took participation in various technical activities. Apart from that, ma'am, one of the most important thing which I did is in my third year, in which I was the overall coordinator of a national level college fest. And that was an awesome experience for me, in which I learned, I would say, many things regarding the leadership and the administration. uh, we like at that stage we manage a lot, like huge amount of money, a huge number of teams. There are many serious and tense situations which we have to deal on the spot. So that was, I would say, a comprehensive experience. Like I could even compare that to not to that level, but a small level, that what we experience in day-to-day life as an administrator. We have to manage funds, and we have to like achieve our objective, and we have to deal with the exigencies. So that was a similar kind of experience I had in my 6 months of tenure as an overall coordinator.
Added on.
Yes, ma'am.
And Navneet, the most interesting thing is your fellowship that you did from the Stuttgart, Germany,
Yes,
from
ma'am.
the Max Planck. And how come fellowship? I mean, what all on earth you want to do? How did you end up in fellowship?
Ma'am, it's also an interesting story. I like I started applying for the because I wanted to like have some experience in the research, because I just wanted to explore whether I want to do it further or not.
Hmm.
So after in my third year, I started applying for that, but for the 3 months I got no response. Uh,
Okay.
then then I became the coordinator of my affairs, and in
Hmm.
between the fest, I got the message from DAB that I have been selected for the German scholarship, and I was on cloud nine. And the challenge was that I had to organize the fest also, and I had to prepare for the thesis and everything along with that. So my professor could see like what I am proposing, and like he wanted to have an idea what I am proposing and how I'm gonna go about it in 2 or 3 months. So that was a nice experience. I was working on both the things simultaneously. So that is how the main reason I wanted to explore whether I want to go for further studies or not.
यूपीएससी की जर्नी में सबसे चैलेंजिंग पोर्शन होता है करंट अफेयर्स। मैंने अपने टीचिंग एक्सपीरियंस से समझा है कि अगर करंट अफेयर्स को बेसिक सेलिंग कर दिया जाए तो प्रीलिम्स, मेंस और इंटरव्यू तीनों स्टेजेस की तैयारी आसानी से हो जाती है। पढ़िए मेरे साथ और न्यूज़पेपर एनालिसिस कवर करें एक आसान तरीके से। मैं हूं अमन शर्मा और मैं यूपीएससी सीएससी के लिए अनअकैडमी प्लस पे लाइव पढ़ाता हूं।
So you went to Germany, and I'm sure people are thinking, nowadays there's also a trend, because I am a Punjabi, so from Punjab people move a lot to Canada in different countries for higher education. You never had a thought कि चलो अब Germany I've already come fellowship के लिए, so let me pursue my higher education here, because obviously the opportunities are a lot. And I was reading and listening somewhere that you also mentioned that how they are actually aware of how they are funding the project sometimes, or let's say different things, and what you worked on. So you never felt ki chalo, let me choose this line only. Why do I have to go back to the country and do something like civil services? So you never had such thoughts.
Ma'am, I actually wanted earlier before going to the Germany. I wanted that I wanted to like go for further studies. I had in the back of my mind that I was confused whether I want to go for civil services or I want to settle abroad. But after getting there, my doubts got cleared because I got to know that I'm fearful of research. I cannot do research. Other thing is that, ma'am, the society, kind of society that Western countries have is very different from our Indian society. The kind
Yes.
of connect we feel here is kind of absent there. So that
Yeah.
was the main reason I could not attach with with that society, and I found that I would not be happy living there. Though the standard of living is very good there as compared to India, but
Hmm.
kind of feeling of you know which we say in Hindi अपनापन जो आता है यहाँ पर, that was kind of absent there. So, and one more important thing is the food I was missing. Like Indian, like there is nothing like Indian food in the whole world. So those were the main reasons I decided I don't want to go for further studies and want to. I did not want to
Okay.
settle abroad after that.
So you were in IIT Jodhpur. I'm sure you've had the best of the street food in Jodhpur. The kachoris that you get over there, the famous ones,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
you have the mirchi vadas and a lot of other things. The cultural value of Jodhpur is also so much that if you tend to go somewhere, you feel like coming back because the roots are definitely they're very strong, and Indian culture is beautiful, and the cuisine definitely yes. So
Yes, ma'am.
that has also been there.
Yes, ma'am.
So
And
moving
kind of
on to that, yeah, please tell me.
uh, like, ma'am, there is a very unique thing regarding the kachoris there. Kachoris and mirchi vada, they are taken as a breakfast on a daily basis in Jodhpur. Like in our like in
Mm-hmm.
front of our hostel, we had a shop like who used to provide these things. So it's very common in Jodhpur and it's very very delicious.
That is great. That's great. And then you worked, you worked as a working professional. You did a job at the shop, and
Yes, ma'am.
suddenly, you got inspired. Your dad, I was also reading about it that, your dad told you that you prepare for the civil services examination, and then you left your job. So how difficult was it to leave your job and come to, the preparation? How difficult that transition was, because having a secure job in hand, earning and being independent, and suddenly, shifting to an exam which can take time, definitely requires effort, consistency. So how did you, had that transition of that, and how did you sink in with that feeling initially that, okay, I have to leave the job or whatever? So what were your struggles with respect to that?
Ma'am, that is a very very right thing. Like I had all these dilemma that I'm having a secure job, I'm earning good, and I'm going into a very uncertain exam because as you know that success rate is very low and it's very uncertain basically. But what like
Yes.
in these kind of situation, what we need is that some other person should show confidence in you and should provide all kind of support to you. And in my case, ma'am, it
Mm.
was my father and my family. They showed like absolute confidence in me that you are gonna make it, and they provided all kind of facilities and all kind of support, be it mental support, be it emotional support, be it financial support. So they were always there. So because of that, ma'am, I could come over the dilemma and I could take the decision of leaving that job and go for the civil services.
So your dad has played a very important role in your life to, to be a torch bearer for you to come to this civil services.
Yes, ma'am, he has played the utmost
So
role.
yes, and then you started the preparation. When did you leave your job? Like which year did you leave your job?
I left my job in 2017 May.
17. So eventually you cleared the exam in 18. So did you
Yes.
prepare only for this 1 year, or have you already been reading something previously, or having an idea about it, or research for it, or 17 after leaving the job you began? Because many aspirants that we see on Unacademy also, or otherwise also, who are preparing, they are working professionals. The first and the foremost struggle is that we want to prepare with the job because of the job security, number one, family conditions, you can say any kind of pressure that they have, and also insecurity that if they lose the job in not civil services, then what they're going to do. So, did you only do it after leaving it, or were you already doing some research on it?
Ma'am, before leaving the job, I made sure that I completed my NCRT. I had the idea
Okay.
about my general studies syllabus and the optional syllabus. And also I decided before leaving my job which coaching for the BS I would be joining and which coaching for the optional I would be joining. So I had planned
Okay.
all these things before resigning. So yes, there should be some basic idea about the exam before we like enter into the process.
Okay, okay. So you mean that syllabus as the most important thing, and like you said, previous year questions, syllabus, and you should have a very sorted plan for what your approach has to be for the next 1 year or
One
one
year
and a half year, because 1 year is preparation, 1 year is the exam period. Eventually,
exam.
it's 2 years if we say, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So you had a very sorted idea in your mind that how you're going to approach it eventually.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes. And of me, then another question is that you said that you covered your basics first. So mostly what aspirants do these days is that they're only relying on you can say sometimes they rely only on NCRTs, sometimes they rely only on standard books, and previous year question and syllabus is most of the times ignored. That is seen at a later stage, and when they're only relying, let's say, on one or two sources, they're running after different kind of material on the internet in the market. So what do you say for a beginner? I mean, let's say that if anybody starts the preparation today and thinks of it, so what it has to be the first 1, 2, 3 priority steps that he has to take for that?
Ma'am, as a beginner, first of all, we should see the exam procedure, what is the exam pattern, like its prelims, mains, and interview, and what all subjects are these
Interview.
papers are there. After that,
Mm-hmm.
next step should be the syllabus. One should go through the syllabus, what all topics are in there, and do a basic
Mm-hmm.
like 1 or 2 line research on those keywords, like what are they, so to get an overall idea like what the student would be studying. After that, in my view, ma'am, the other step would be to study the basic NCRTs from 6 to 10 of the geography,
Mm-hmm.
history, polity. These NCRTs
Mm-hmm.
should be read because these are very important to have a basic idea of the things before
Mm-hmm.
going to the
Right.
standard books. So one should give one
Mm-hmm.
or maximum 2 readings to the NCRTs, these basic NCRTs, 6 to 10
Mm-hmm.
NCRTs. After that, if a person wants to join a coaching or if he wants to prepare on its his or her own, it should like he or she should decide that. Once the process starts, like again, like we uh, we have to keep in mind that we have to keep it very simple. We have standard 1 or 2 standard books for every subject, and we have to stick to
Yes.
that. We have to read them
Mm-hmm.
religiously, and we have to read them multiple times instead of reading the multiple materials. So I believe, ma'am, this should be the basic approach by which a person should start preparation.
So one success mantra that I pick up from you, Navneet, is that minimum resources, maximum revision. I think
Yes,
that has
ma'am.
been consistent. That even I think when you secured your 619 rank in 2018, I think this is something that you've also been again and again focusing on this point, that
Yes, ma'am.
minimum resources and maximum revision.
Revision.
One thing that I would like to ask over here again is from this entire thing that you started, and then eventually, if students are researching on the topics, let's say, and they are reading NCRTs, and they are also reading the limited standard books, and they interconnect and read it, don't you think that sometimes they also save their time topic wise reading of different subjects, because every NCRT is interconnected to the another one with
Yes,
respect
ma'am.
to certain topics. So if they go with that approach, because many of them keep wasting a lot of time. I mean, just giving a basic reading to books like, let's say, 4 5 months, then a standard book 4 5 months. So do you think that approach also can work for the aspirants? That they interconnect the topics of the NCRTs and standard books and then they read it.
Ma'am, definitely that is the approach, that there should be the
Mm-hmm.
interconnection between our topics, and that is why the stress is on the minimum resources, because when we read minimum books, we will have the limited content in our mind, and instead of like like focusing on reading more content, our mind will focus on relating those contents.
Mm-hmm.
And ma'am, apart from that, yes, you are very correct that while reading the NCRTs and the standard books, there should be the interconnection. So approach in that could be that once we read the NCRT, we could move to the standard books. So like what people generally do mistake, that they for the 4 5 months they are reading NCRTs, and then for the another 4 5 months they are reading standard books. So
Mm-hmm.
in that process, it gets segregated. They lose the touch with the other topics or with the earlier what they have read. So it should be like
With the
it's
main
interlinked.
subject, in fact, they lose the sight of it. Hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
like what like in that aspect, what I did, or what I got guidance, is that I used to do if I'm doing geography this week, I would be doing other subjects next week. So because
Mm-hmm.
this was because in my basically where I was taking coaching, this was the pattern which was followed. So this kind of helped
Mm-hmm.
me in touch with all the subjects I was reading. But I want to convey that people should be very cautious in this approach, because if you have the guidance,
Okay.
then only this approach could be successful, because the other person would be making a schedule for you, a, a forward schedule for you.
Absolutely.
If we're
Yes.
doing it on our
Absolutely.
own, then we should be like very forward looking, that in the coming 2 or 3 weeks what I would be doing. And
Yes.
it
Yes.
has to be make sure that we are sticking to that schedule. If we are not able to do that, then it's better that we go topic by topic or the book by book, because that is very easy to track and like keep like to study. That I want to be like convey my caution here.
That is a great point, I think, for aspirants. And Namit, what do you have to say about answer writing? I mean, many students these days are fearful about answer writing. They don't even attempt to write it just before attempting once they clear the prelims, they think the window period of 2.5 to 3 months, which eventually is very less with respect to what, sort of syllabus that they have to cover, essay and everything. So, what do you have to say about answer writing? Should they begin it at an early stage, or should it be left कि चलो prelims हो जाएगा उसके बाद हम आंसर राइटिंग करेंगे kind of?
Ma'am, that is a very good point, that people tend to think that first prepare for the prelims and then we'll see about the mains.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to point out here that every stage of this process has to be taken in the integrated manner. Like
Absolutely.
if we are starting, let's say if we are starting after the prelims, like previous year prelims, we are starting in June, let's say, for our
Mm-hmm.
first attempt, then we have to focus till January on the mains as well as prelims.
Yes.
We have, but our major focus and mains includes the optional, uh,
Mm.
and our major focus should be on the mains. We have to make sure that we cover all our syllabus of the mains till January. We should,
Okay.
and regarding the answer writing, we should start it after once we get the basic idea about the subject. We should start answer writing, because uh, when we have the basic idea, we can approach the topic, we can approach the demand of the question. And once we write the question and we see the model answer, it's a learning experience. We get to know what mistakes we are making in our approach while writing the answer, and we also get the various ideas about the particular topic. So answer writing should be a part once we start the preparation. After I would say after 2 months, when we read basic books of all the subjects, we can start answer writing. And we also have to make sure that we complete our optional in the meanwhile till January. And also for the every topic in the mean, we should have a concise notes on the intro and the conclusion, which can help like various data or various codes which we can write topic wise of the mains examination, because that would be very helpful of starting and concluding the answer. And regarding the body of the answer, for the static subjects we have the books. For the
Mm-hmm.
static question, that would come from our standard book. And for the current affairs, those would come from our news articles and the magazine. So in this way we will prepare our intro our body and conclusion. So
Okay.
ma'am, this is the strategy which ideally must be followed.
And I think you have highlighted a lot of points in this entire thing that you said about answer writing. I'll come on it one by one. Number one, you mentioned about optional to be covered also. So how do you decide in optional? Should it be because you are an IITN and the base and your optional is political science and international relations. So the PSIR optional is very different from the subjects that you must have done in IIT. So how do you decide an optional? Should it be from your own stream, or let it be like we should follow the trend that is there of the toppers की इसमें से बहुत ज़्यादा because PSIR से तो so many people have been securing ranks from so many years. So maybe many people are going towards PSIR because of this. So what do you think has to be the decision maker for the optional?
Ma'am, I would say that from my experience and from the other friends which I have seen, that first of all we have to see in which subject we are interested. And the first thing which comes in our mind is our graduation subject.
Yes.
So if we are strong in that, if we have an interest in that, and that syllabus is there in our optional, so I think we should give a thought in that, like whether we want to take it or not. If not, then yes, there are these other subjects. And regarding how to decide, I would say that whatever options we have in our mind, we should go through that syllabus, like what is all there in that. And we should also refer to the previous year questions, like how the questions are being answered. Other thing is that we need to see whether the good guidance is available in the market or not. That is what the approach I follow. If a person wants to, if he or she can do it on its own, that is a very good thing. Otherwise, the guidance availability should also be one of the factors. So based on these things, I think one should decide the optional. Regarding seeing the number of people who are getting qualified from this optional, or the like all the rumors in the rumors around the circle that this optional is very rewarding, or this optional is not getting marks, that
Yes.
should not be our focus.
Okay. So one should be making the choice individually.
Yes.
Second thing that you mentioned was about note making. One thing that is also like a mass hysteria has been created with respect to that, because Delhi is full of material and resources. Not only Delhi, in fact many cities, but Delhi mainly. Coaching institute materials are there, handwritten notes of different coaching institutes are there, and they are available into the markets as booklets, and as at the same time PDFs, and you can say pen drives and all, which is like at a lot, let us say in particular areas of Delhi, the coaching centers where they are. So what do you have to say about that? Should we be following the notes given by someone else for our mains preparation or our prelims preparation, or note making should be our own process? It should be something, for which we should become Atmanirbhar. So what do you have to say about that?
Ma'am, I would say definitely not. Never to refer the notes of anyone else, because the purpose of note making is that we should have a mind map that we have studied this thing, and according to our understanding we write the points, so that
Right.
it would be very easy when we are revising, because the
Yes.
other person would have made the notes according to his needs or according to his understanding.
Yes.
What point he or she considered important, that might not be important from our perspective.
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
that is most important thing, that on for the easy revision and for bringing the individuality in the answer or originality in the answer, which UPSC I think rewards marks. It is very important that we rely on our understanding, on our notes, and on our content, instead of referring to anybody else's notes.
So self-reliance in notes making should be there.
Yes, ma'am.
And then we talked, you said about topic wise note making. Like you said, you should be completing your optional and your main subject till January. So because there are subjects of prelims and mains which are common, let us say polity, history, geography, economy, environment, science and tech, like these are the subjects both in prelims and mains. And then we have other subjects which are coming only in mains examination. So what do you have to say about it? Should it be that they should be completing the common subject first, or they should be having an overall approach for the exam. We should do it integrated, and then we can have enough time for the revision.
Ma'am, I can tell what I did.
Yeah.
So I had the integrated approach for the
Okay.
for the 2 or 3 months, like till October. I made sure that I am doing my options simultaneously and I am reading the standard books and the
Okay.
NCRTs.
Okay.
And till January, like 2 months before the December, basically, not January, before December, basically at
Mhm.
the end of the year, I picked up all the topics which are being left by the standard books, or I
Okay.
would say main specific topic. I picked them up, and
Mhm.
I referred the sources and made the concise notes regarding them.
Okay. Okay.
But like I could not make them comprehensive or to all the subject, but I tried to do that.
Mhm.
So ideally that should be done. So I like for GS1 there is a agriculture topic or there is a society topic. So we
Mhm.
should have a basic like data about that, basic course about that. So uh, like we can give a specific time at the year end that now we are gonna complete the topics of the main. So
Okay.
this is how it can be done.
Okay. This is how it should be done. Navneet, what I'm very much interested is that 2018 you secured a rank in your first attempt, and this year you secured rank 69. So what has been that change in approach that you took this time, and what steps did you follow, or what steps did you skip, this time, which made it better for you? And at the same time, there are two questions that I have at the same time. One is that you already have a service, and then you already become very much, with the fact, that okay, you are into service, so you feel secure from inside, but still aspiring again for the exam, sitting back for the preparation again, writing the entire exam again. So how it has been for you, this entire thing?
Ma'am, regarding that, yes, once we are in the service, we get somewhat relaxed and we get complacent regarding our preparation. Like it's okay if we are getting it, then it's fine. Otherwise, we have a job.
Mhm.
But ma'am, sometimes uh, like when we think that for what we came for the preparation, that like we want to be at that position, so that motivates us. So that
Mhm.
is what motivated me despite being in the service. And ma'am, regarding preparation while in the service, ma'am, I would like to make it clear that before joining my service, I joined my service in December. So I
Okay.
completed the exams of prelims and mains.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I already gave the paper. So in those stages, I did not have to face any problem regarding my service. And
Mhm.
ma'am, regarding the interview when it came, I gave it in February. So yes, that time I was in the service, and in that scenario, ma'am, my seniors and my like course directors played a very important role. They supported me in all the way possible. They gave me minimum load of the service, so I could
Mhm.
prepare for my interview in the best possible way.
Okay.
And then regarding the change in the strategy in my second attempt, I would say I did not made any changes to my strategy. In
Mhm.
my first attempt, I made mistakes in two areas, that is the essay and in my interview. I
Okay.
did not practice even one essay before writing the main in my first
Okay.
attempt because
Mhm.
I wish I got very low marks in the essay. And
Mhm.
regarding the interview, ma'am, I also lacked some in some areas in my interview in my first attempt. So
Mhm.
two things I worked very focusedly in my second attempt. I wrote 5 to 6 essays. I consulted my friend who she has a very good she had a very good marks in essay. So and regarding the interviews also, I worked on every possible area of my depth and gave 5 to 6 mock interviews. So I believe, ma'am, that would have contributed to the good rank this time.
Okay, okay. That's very interesting. What you've highlighted is about essay writing. That could have become a game changer, and you just started working on it this time. So essay practicing or essay writing, because like you mentioned about answer writing should be done eventually. We should start doing it side by side. What about essay writing? When should an aspirant ideally start writing essays? Should it be on the current affair topics, or what approach it has to be for essay writing?
Ma'am, regarding essay writing, I would say that there is no need to take any kind of pressure for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can start if a person wants to start essay writing, he or she can start when the answer writing is has begun. However,
Mm-hmm.
one should be limited in writing the essay, either one essay in a week or 15 days, like according to our comfort or schedule. Because
Mm-hmm.
when we are preparing for the mains, we are preparing the content for the essay also side by side, because that is what we have to use that. So if
Right,
you're
right.
writing 5 to 6 essay before the exam, I think that is enough, and that would
Mm.
do. Otherwise,
That would
like if
do.
a person thinks that he or she wants to write more, like ma'am, it depends on everybody's like caliber or comfort level. So it's
Okay.
upon the person to decide how much essay one needs to write before the exam and when
Okay.
to write it. However, a person can start writing as early as possible, but it's upon the person's comfort level when he or she wants to write.
Okay. So, one thing that I want to ask you is about interview that you said that you had less marks in interview and this time. So, I'm sure you must have given mock interviews. And one
Yes,
of your
ma'am.
mock interviews I also saw with an academy as well.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
I would like to ask you how these mock interviews help one, and how are they really practically asked in the UPSC? I mean, do you have any questions which are similar, or it helps you to build up that base for your main interview, or has it been any similar question that were asked you from whatever mocks that you attended? So what is that experience that you had?
Ma'am, definitely the questions in the mock interview and the real interview overlaps, because majorly the questions are from the desk and from the current affairs.
Mm-hmm.
So those things are covered in the mock interview.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say the way the mock interviews are taken is different from the real interviews. Because the real interviews are not grilling. They are not like the ones are shown on the YouTube that the panel is grilling to the core. The aspirant. Real interview is very cordial,
Mm-hmm.
and the the panel is very supportive. If we are not able to answer anything or if we are getting nervous,
Mm-hmm.
they make us very comfortable. So there is no need to fear about the interview. Just we need to focus on our depth, and we need to focus on the current affairs, and we need to be our true self in the interview. Never try to fool the panel, because if we try to fool them, if we try to bluff or lie in the interview, we are gonna punish badly. So that is what we need to keep in mind. Be original in the interview.
Navneet, I also read somewhere about you that you said this preparation helps you to become a better human being.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
at the same time, you also mentioned about the DAF and how details have to be filled in that. I was just going through yours, wherein you said about competitive programming, wherein you
Yes, ma'am.
mentioned as one of your hobbies. So, like you said, you have to be, one should be themselves. So, should they be putting up such information that we are actually interested on? Do they really ask you questions in that zone? Or is it something that is not focused so much? So, I'm very curious to know that how DAF should be filled, and at the same time, should you alter your hobbies within this 1 year of your preparation that eventually you have to go for a UPS interview, and you should develop such hobbies on which you have a background knowledge, or you should have some research or something. So what do you have to say about
Ma'am, I would say we should never make a mistake of altering our hobby just from the interview, because that is what I did in my first attempt, and I face the consequences for that.
it? Okay.
Because panel is very interested in your hobby. They want they want to judge you from the kind of activities you get involved in your leisure time.
Okay. Okay.
So once we mention a hobby, they tend to ask us like what we do in that, what recently we have done in that. So if
Mm-hmm.
we have not done that thing, or if that hobby is we have just mentioned it just for the sake we want to mention for the interview, then they are
Mm-hmm.
gonna catch it.
Okay.
Then they are gonna think that the person is not like is bluffing or has put false things on the resume or the that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that would be a good thing for the interview. Be original.
Okay.
If you don't have any hobby, just put it blank, or
Okay.
because it would show that the person, or if we like hang out with friends, and like if we don't have any hobby, we would be doing something in a leisure time. So just originally put that thing in into the desk that yes sir, I yes sir or ma'am, I do that thing. There is no harm in that. panel would be very happy that that person is not lying, and he's very true to the panel that okay, I don't have any hobby, I do this thing and I'm telling you this. So this is my true personality. So this is my advice, that never ever lie on the desk.
So be yourself. What you are, just be yourself, and you can just be confident on that.
Yes, ma'am.
That is great. Navneet, I have a question for the aspirants preparing for 2020. Already this year has been very, full of surprises with respect to the COVID-19 pandemic, and things have been shut down. So difficulties have been there, but at the same time, exam got delayed also. It was on 31st May. Now it is on scheduled to be on 4th of October as of now. So what do you have to say for the people those who are preparing for this exam, and might as well they face challenges? So what do you think has to be the quick tips for them for the next upcoming days that they have remaining for the exam, and how they should approach this period effectively?
Ma'am, we have less than 2 months for the upcoming prelims. So
Yes.
my sincere advice is that a aspirant should leave everything else. He should leave his means preparation or options aside and
Mm-hmm.
focus entirely on the prelims.
Mm-hmm.
Focus should be entirely on the standard books,
Mm-hmm.
on covering the current affairs, and
Mm-hmm.
for dedicatedly doing one mock test of the prelims every day to assess himself. So
Okay.
that should be the last minute strategy for the remaining days. This should not. This is my only advice for the aspirants.
So two questions that I have simultaneously is with respect to mock test. That should we be practicing, MCQs and questions alongside the topics, or before the prelims? Secondly, do we have to, at the same time read the newspaper, or rely on the monthly magazines or current affairs gist or something?
Ma'am, before the prelims, uh, regarding the mock test, I used to give the whole mock test of two
Mm.
hours, sitting in the like I would be giving in the original test center.
Okay.
So I used to give for 2 hours. I used to give the mock test, and then for the other, and then after some time, I used to go through the solution, and
Mm-hmm.
in the solution, I used to mark the new things which are there in the test paper. Like the
Mm-hmm.
things which are standard books, I would not mark there, because
Okay.
then it would be very easy to revise those test papers, and
Mm-hmm.
I would be only revising the new things apart from the things which I have already read in the static book.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so this was how the mock test was done. And regarding the newspaper, I would say for the time before the prelims, we can leave reading editorial analysis, and we can just give half an hour to the selected, very selectively we can read newspaper for the
Okay.
prelims. And definitely uh, we have to, I believe we have to read the magazine for the overall revision if a person has.
Okay, okay. So magazine has to be read, and at the same time, mock test should be given. Questions should be, practiced almost in a manner that you can just avoid your mistakes.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is exactly that will work also for the aspirants preparing for 2021. And then we have certainly a few quick, rapid fire questions for you. So we'll quickly take up that, and you can just answer them quickly, whatever comes to your mind on the first instance. So, what are you most excited about these days? What are the things that excite you the most these days?
Ma'am, the joining Labasna, I am just thinking about that.
Okay, and definitely that is the most exciting thing I think for every aspirant. And did you pick any recent hobby during this quarantine time?
No, ma'am. I was involved in my training, but I am looking forward to pick up the reading as a hobby.
Reading as a hobby. Okay, okay. And then, what's the best thing that happened this year to you? That we already know, the civil services.
Yes,
Anything
ma'am.
else that you would like to say?
No, ma'am. Nothing bigger than this.
Absolutely. And if you had one superpower, what would it be? What would you be like if you had one superpower? Then what it would
Teleportation.
be? Okay, so what did you say?
Teleportation. I'm really fed up of the traffic jams.
Okay, okay. Good. And then the one talent you wish you had. Uh,
Uh, Ma'am, I wish I knew how to play guitar or any musical instrument basically.
I'm sure Labasna, will give you that opportunity because they get to tend to do everything over there, most of the activities.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, what would you pick, tea or coffee, if you have two options?
Ma'am, please.
Tea, chai lover,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, okay. So, Navneet, I think that has been a very interesting conversation today. Would you like to have, say, a few words for the aspirants, those who are aspiring for this exam, and what all, they can take from you? Just a very quick inspiration word.
Yeah. Like I would like to give the most important advice which I received from my senior is that cut the clutter in this exam. If we will
Okay.
keep everything simple, this exam will make our life simple. If we will make the things complicated in the uh, exam, it will make our life complicated. So that is the basic rule we have to follow in this.
So cut the clutter, keep it simple, and just work on it.
Yes,
That's a simple rule that you have. And definitely, I think everybody should just pin post it and write it on the blue boards that you have in front of them. That we need to cut the clutter, keep it very simple because the fear from inside should go out. And
yes,
I think this feeling should be there. The confidence should build in that they can do it,
yes.
so they can crack it definitely. Navneet, thank you so much for such an inspirational, insightful, and an amazing session today. I think we had a conversation across the, all the domains that might as well been covered today. But at the same time, again, when you have your mark sheets and at the same time your scores, so we can have discussion on how things work for you in different papers. And we shall again be able to, meet again on an interview again with you. Definitely, I would like to definitely have an interview again with you. So, would you like to tag a topper, along with you over here on an academy, Chamomile Tea with the toppers?
I have a friend, it's my batchmate, Devendra Kumar. I would like to tag him.
Okay, so Devendra Kumar would be tagged by Navneet Mittal. So, guys, thank you so much for watching this session. And today's session by Navneet has been an inspiration. I think everyone should learn. Cut the clutter should be something that you should have in your mind. And definitely, guys, if you would like to have, definitely put down in the comment section about how did you like this entire episode, and tell us about the experiences. And definitely, you have a lot to learn from the topics of today. Thank you so much.
Life and freedom.